So, as a medical health intuitive and a Reiki master teacher, I help people understand their body on an energetic level and connect it to why they're suffering physically from physical symptoms and illnesses. And one of the most common questions I get from both clients and social media is, how do I heal? Where do I begin with this? I'm in pain. I don't want to suffer anymore. How do I end this? What do I do? How do I fix this? What we need to understand is we all suffer differently, and we all react emotionally and mentally differently to that suffering, which means none of us heal the same. But there's all these tools and all these modalities out there for us to use: diet, exercise, Pilates, yoga. There's all these modalities: crystals, essential oils, holistic, blah, 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 blah. How do you know where to start and how to choose from all of those modalities out there? How do you know where to begin? So we have to, in order to heal, we have to connect back to our heart, our soul light. That's our wisdom. That is everything we need to know about us, but we never listen to it because we're so busy surviving and reacting because we're distracted constantly by stress, by trauma, by work, all the things that happen in our surroundings, that we lose connection to our heart. And it can start back to being connected to a conditioned behavior from childhood. It could be a conditioned behavior from a toxic relationship. But if you're currently in a present state where life is actually okay, there's not anything going on, but you're still reacting emotionally as if you are still hurting, and you're still thinking mentally as if you're still hurting, that means your emotions are still attached to what happened to your past, and your mindset and your perception most likely will be off because it's still attached to the suffering and the stress in your past. You need to shift that. So when you start with your heart, look at your emotions. Are they the same as when you were suffering? Are your emotions still feeling like you're suffering? And if they are, ask yourself why, and be honest with yourself. Be raw honest with yourself. There is something going on that's not serving you that you need to fix. And same with the mind. What's your perception? Are you still seeing and perceiving things as if you're still in a state of stress and trauma? And if you are, why? Again, ask yourself and be raw honest with your mindset, because it's when we go through trauma, it's not like we just wake up the next morning when it's over and get back to a normal life. We still stay in a reactive state, and that reactive state is what creates the stress that flows through our energetic body, and eventually it manifests into illness. And if we don't acknowledge those signs and those symptoms of pain, of feeling our energy shift, our mood shifting, our body, it's telling us everything we need to know. We're just not listening. Now, there's 7 primary chakras that run through our body, and each chakra is an energetic center that resonates physically with that part of the body where it's located. So when our energy is out of alignment, or that particular chakra is out of balance, maybe there's too much energy because we're overthinking the process, or there's not enough energy because we're in a state of avoidance, we'll start to feel pain in that area of the physical body. And if we don't acknowledge that pain, and we don't acknowledge emotionally and mentally what's going on around us that's causing that pain, it'll start to manifest into a physical symptom. And that physical symptom will eventually manifest into disease, and then it manifests into illness. So if you're not aware and you're not listening to your energy and how it's shifting and how it's affecting your body physically, eating healthy and all of those modalities that are out there, they do help. But what happens is when our behaviors and our mindset and our heart are still in a state of stress and trauma, that energy of that stress and trauma will continue to recycle until we acknowledge it and make conscious efforts to change our behaviors back to a behavior that serves us when we're not in a state of stress, slowing down how we eat, slowing down how we breathe, slowing down our movements because we're no longer in a panic, fight or flight. Simple little shifts and energetic and physical changes that you can make consciously every day. That's where your healing begins. And it starts with understanding your energy chakra centers and understanding your physical body, and intuitively and physically listening to what your body is trying to tell you. That's where your healing begins.